Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Political Machine 2016 or 2016, whichever darned way you want to say it. We are edging closer and closer and closer to the end of the game when the election will actually happen, and let's take a quick look at the polls and just quickly admire how darned well we're doing. Holy cow, 386 electoral votes coming our way. Predicted, that is, predicted. And we're, we're doing really well on the top two issues. People really respect our opinions, I suppose, which is very, very nice to see indeed. Where do we want to go from here? Well, at the end of the last episode, we sort of addressed how I was very, very keen on actually placing down a booklet or a leaflet or just giving a speech here. I think creating a leaflet and giving a speech in Massachusetts is probably wise. Now, it's worth noting that it's going to be really very, very difficult to actually lose this state. And in fairness, I guess it doesn't really make that much of a difference what we do here. But it's just that she's got this, or my opponent has got this outreach center over here, which is going to give her that awareness bonus, which is never nice. We never want to see that happen. So without further ado, let's go and create an ad. We're going to say that what were we going to do? It was either reducing unemployment or deficit reduction. Can't really remember. Reducing unemployment, I think, seems to be more popular across the board. Yeah, I think so. Okay, we'll create an ad, just the ground game, sort of door-to-door leafleting, and reducing unemployment. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and let's also give a speech while we are over here as well, and we'll do this speech on reducing unemployment once again. Probably going to do a fairly good job of securing this state. I mean, that's 52% of the electorate that are actually going to vote for us. That's very, very good. That's a very, very strong position for us, and I don't think we can really complain about that at all. Pennsylvania, however, is getting fairly close. It's getting fairly darned close. Also, we've got a shit ton of political capital that we absolutely need to spend, because otherwise it's just going to go to waste, isn't it? It's just going to go to waste. You know what? I will actually hire a PR consultant. The reason that I'll hire him is because I do want... Ooh, and I'll also take a speechwriter. I'll take a speechwriter as well. There we go. One speechwriter. One speechwriter. No, speechwriter? There we go. That's better. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed everything's going to be A-okay. Now, we did just manage to get a boost to our interviews, so let's fucking do it. Let's go on the O'Malley scenario. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna say yeah. Let's fucking do it. There we go. Tonight, two of the most important people in the country go head to head. Blah blah blah. I get it, buddy. I'm Bill O'Malley. Whatever his name is. Bill O'Malley? Bill O'Malley. The government wastes billions of dollars. That's why I hate seeing the government being put in charge of everything that isn't necessary. It's just so wasteful and corrupt. What's your take on it? The government helps Americans. You know what? It's not going to be super, super popular with the audience. I get that. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we are uniquely democratic. And the way that we're going to do that is through saying, the right answers to the questions, the democratic answers to the questions. A lot of Hollywood celebrities are just pinheads, and then what really gets me is how they try and shove their elitist agendas down the throats of regular folk. What do you think about this? I wish these people would just shut up and sing, or act and dance or whatever. Just because someone is a good actor doesn't make them an authority on politics. I like some, others will be put to death. They're fine so long as they agree with me. Any celebrity that disagrees with me can be shot out of the cannon. I'll say they annoy me. Not a great selection of answers that we actually got to ask there, but at the same time, I don't think that's going to swing things too unbelievably massively. Polls rise after an appearance on the O'Malley scenario. That's great to see. It looks like we're securing yet more democratic land. So it does look like we actually managed to secure one more state or two more states, because the number of electoral votes that we've actually got is going up. It's going up. That's for darn certain. But at the same time, could just be doing a little bit better. We could be winning the popular vote by substantially more than we're currently doing. Also, in terms of money spent, my opponent is definitely winning that battle, which is a real shame, actually. And it's not really something that I'm super over the moon about, let me tell you that. Yeah, but fingers crossed that that interview was actually somewhat beneficial for us. We're winning Florida quite substantially right now, and it looks like our stance on supporting Israel is very pro-Israel. We need to keep on talking about social security as well. So we're going to fly back to Florida, probably this turn. Oh, in fact, no, we can't. Probably next turn, and give a speech in Florida. Oh, she just managed to make Michigan not blue, so I guess I know where we're doing our second speech over the course of this turn. We are still predicted to win those two states for sure, and, well, Washington and Oregon for sure, and potentially Nevada. Potentially, if we're lucky. But, you know, Florida is the big target, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. We're going to have to give a speech here, and it's going to be on Social Security. The reason that it's going to be on Social Security is because she is looking really shitty on Social Security. In fact, you know what? Let's go even further. Let's say it's going to be on Social Security, but my opponent opposes Social Security. That's right. So we're going to get a little bonus as well for that. We're going to get a shit ton of bonuses. In fact, it's going to be even more effective because we get a shit ton of bonuses. So there we go. There we go. Fingers crossed that's actually going to decrease my opponent's ratings just a touch. Fingers crossed anyway. Alright, anyway. I don't think we're going to have enough political capital to actually, or whatever you call it, stamina, that's the one, to do another speech. But it seems that just by turning up, we've managed to convince people that we're the right person to go for. Now, I think we're actually gonna go to California and fundraise a little bit. Unfortunately, we do need just that little bit more cash, and California seems to be the best place to get it. 250 grand. It's a lot of money, but you know, we were getting a lot more from California at the very start of the game, and it seems to me that there's a finite pool of money, and each turn you just get less and less dosh. Anyway, what is my opponent trying to do? She's scrambling around, really trying very hard to win Florida. Also seems to be trying to pin down some sort of a position in Ohio. Yeah. That's not great, to be honest. That's not great. Let's go and talk about Social Security. Let's go to Ohio and start talking about Social Security. But first, let's actually go to Michigan and give a little speech in Michigan, because I'm not happy about the fact that that we're not exactly winning Michigan, which is, you know, it's less than ideal. It's less than ideal. We'll give a speech about student loan reform, I guess. What about my opponent opposes student loan reform? There we go. Let's do that. There we go. Plus 3%. That's managed to actually secure us. Indeed, secure us. The state of Michigan as a definite win. But now Ohio has got to be the main focus. Let's create some ads to sort of balance out whatever annoying stuff she is doing here. And what is important in Ohio, because I'm really not entirely sure. A strong military. A strong military. Well, I think really what we want to trade on is Social Security. Like, it seems to be very important that we just talk a lot about Social Security. So, unfortunately, we don't have enough cash for TV ads. But you know what? Hey ho, ground leaflets are not as good, but you know, they're not bad. And we'll talk about Social Security. There we go. So that should lead just to us maintaining this high rating. What worries me is the fact that my opponent still has you know, almost 25% awareness to gain, and she's definitely going to gain it, because this is you know, she gets a state awareness bonus from this outreach center. So it's just a matter of time, I'm afraid, which is a little bit annoying. But fingers crossed we can hold on to our lead in Ohio, and fingers crossed. Win the state eventually. Now, Pennsylvania, also something that we haven't really focused on, and it's something that I do want to focus on, because Pennsylvania is important. I really fucking hate purple states. I'll be honest with you. It's really difficult to see whether they're going to be, like, in your favor or against you. Oh, I did not notice that we'd secured Hawaii. That's a good little added bonus. It's not the best, but it's, you know, it's nice. Pennsylvania. How do we want to lock down Pennsylvania? I guess we probably just want to do a speech. I mean, speeches really are the best way to go about doing things right now. I think that's completely safe to say. I'm not really too bothered about our strong military, but I suppose we can sort of trade on student loan reform. Like, that's a fairly good topic to be talking about. There we go. With just that one speech, we have managed to pretty much secure Pennsylvania, which is absolutely fantastic. And it seems that we've got the stamina to actually travel to one more state and do one more speech. Now, what state is that going to be? Good question. I don't know. New York. New York's completely fucking unwinnable for you. I don't know why you've still got your stupid movie director over in New York. It's pretty dumb if you ask me, but whatever. I'm not the boss of her campaign, quite clearly, because I'm doing better than her. Oh ho! Shots fired. That's right. Should we try and win South Carolina? I feel that if we try and win South Carolina, things might go badly. But you know what? Balls to the wall. Let's fucking try it. Let's fucking try it. Now, student loan reform, clearly on the agenda here. Republicans are not going to be too happy with us, and there's a lot of Republicans in the state, so you know what? Student loan reform, fuck it. There we go, plus 2%. It's not going to make a massive difference, but it's at least going to make somewhat of a difference. Also, it's going to give us that sweet little awareness boost as well, which is kinda nice, if I do say so myself. Now, do we have enough political capital to hire an operative? We do indeed. What do we want to do? Not entirely sure. I think we might actually hire a consultant just to chill out in this state. And I just got an achievement called Gathering an Army. Now, I presume that's because I've just hired so many people in terms of political capital. I suppose that's probably exactly why. Not bad, not bad. Pretty happy with that. Okay, so the state of Alabama has been secured as Republican. It's worrying. It's not the end of the world, though. It's not the end of the world. Now, if she can manage to get Iowa, that would be a major bummer, actually. Major bummer. Let's give a speech here. Let's give a speech here about student loan reform. Or about perhaps about my opponent. About my opponent hating student loan reform. That's always a good one to do. Yeah. Opponent opposes student loan reform. There we go. Fantastic. Plus 2%. That's going to be just enough to sort of clutch it, which is kind of nice. I love how we're slandering my opponent. I absolutely love how we're doing that. What's important over here? Farm subsidies. Well, you know what we can give a speech on? My opponent opposes farm subsidies. That's right. You know, the state ain't gonna like you after they talk about farm subsidies. No siree. And in fact, can we hire a political operative to go around here? Not really. We don't have enough. We don't have enough political capital to actually hire any of these reusable guys. These guys are non-reusable. But that's no big deal anyway. I think that is still fairly successful. So there has been a Florida advertisement supporting Israel by my opponent. That's okay. And there's a new HQ in where? Where is it? I don't really know where it is. Iowa. Okay, Iowa. Okay. Fiorina starting to sweat as Webb continues lead. Well, you know what? We have been leading for a long-ass time, and although the number of electoral votes that we're predicted to receive is going down, we're still doing very well in terms of the overall thingamajigger. That's right, the overall thingamajigger. You heard me. My opponent opposes farm subsidies. That's right. Another speech, and that's pretty much fucking secured this as a democratic state, which is absolutely gosh darn beautiful. Now, the state of Michigan sort of worries me because she does have that office there, and that she is getting that bonus. But thank goodness me, we've still got the lead on her there. Ohio, that worries me too. Pennsylvania potentially worries me. New York is starting to worry me. Vermont is probably going to be ours. Let's face it. Florida is still firmly within our grasp. South Carolina still amazingly is ours for the taking. You know what? Let's give an interview. Let's give an interview. 60 seconds. Let's do it. Absolutely, let's do it. Come on. United States military. Oh, the United States spends vast amounts of money on its military. Can we continue to afford this? Geez, okay, this is a really difficult question because we haven't really talked about the strong military. I think we need to protect her. We need a strong military. I know the audience is not going to be happy about it, but I think we need to sort of try and make the Republicans a little bit more chuffed with us. been decades since America seriously invested in its infrastructure. Rebuild via massive stimulus bill, I think, is the correct answer for this here. So overall, that was a mediocre answer. Like, we took a really, really brave answer in terms of the military answer, but if that can just help sway a tiny, tiny percentage of Republican voters, then I think we're in a very, very strong position overall. But what I really, really hope that it doesn't do is just turn off some of the Democratic voters. Like, that would be the absolute worst thing that it could have done. But thankfully, it doesn't look like it's done that to any large degree. Thank goodness. We'll do a little bit of fundraising right now. It's not going to make that much of a difference, but it's just going to allow us to continue to jet around, 1 or 2 times per turn, which is pretty much all we need to do, going from place to place, doing speech to speech, because we're now getting into that stage of the game where brochures and whatnot are going to be less and less valuable, purely because they don't have the time to accrue their benefits. So, the longer that you have a brochure in a state, the more good it does, because the more benefit it gives to everybody. I mean, the Intimidator here is pretty much fucking useless. I'm not gonna lie, pretty much fucking useless. You should probably head over here, Mr. Intimidator, because she's got so many ads and whatnot that she's always gonna have a maximum awareness. But if we put him in here, then we can utilize his intimidation talents in actually reducing my opponent's awareness there, which is kind of nice. We're very, very close to getting over 50% of the popular vote, which is not something that I would ever really have expected to get. But hey ho, a strong military is actually on the agenda this week, which is annoying, considering I spoke at it during an interview, or I spoke about it during an interview, should I say. So overall, I think we're in a really, really good position to combat my opponent in the next episode. The next episode is probably going to be the final of this playthrough of the Political Machine 2016. So you'll have to tune in then and see how the election goes, because we got a couple more speeches to do, a couple more states to secure. But after that, we are going to be, I think, hopefully, in a very, very good position for the election. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for watching. My name, of course, has been Old Potato. Tune in next time for some more of the Political Machine 2016, and until then, bye.